This is the iPad Pro. I've used it for a long time now, and I've used it to do a lot of gaming in my time owning it. And I mean a lot of gaming. Like I've played many games with it. Now, we're gonna cover a bunch of stuff in this video, but ultimately, there's only one question we're trying to answer. Can the iPad Pro basically be your console? Like your portable console? Can this skinny device fulfill just about all your gaming needs, like all of them? Or is that too crazy to even ask?
Well, I guess we'll know at the end of this video, right? Okay, let's get started. Let's play some games. We'll start with a popular one, PUBG.
Now, my subscribers are going to be watching this, so I'm just going to go try hard and get a W real quick, okay? Now, as you can see, I'm playing pretty well. Like, not to brag or anything. But also, PUBG is running pretty well too. Now, I set the graphics to high and to 60 frames per second, and it's crazy to say, but this is not too far from how the PS4 looks when running PUBG. Well, maybe the iPad looks a bit worse, and it's more noticeable when you look at them side by side. But look, I'm killing all these kids online, killing their gaming, YouTuber dreams and stuff. Like, it's just a good time, you know? The iPad is having no problems playing PUBG, and it's running just about as smooth as it would on the PS4. Now, my point in all of this is that PUBG is a pretty demanding game. Many devices can't run it smoothly, but the iPad doesn't break much of a sweat while doing it. It still remains very smooth. It also doesn't break a sweat while running other intensive games like Fortnite, for example. Basically, when it comes to power and graphical capability, you might not expect it, but the iPad Pro is top notch. If it can play PUBG and Fortnite so well, it should be able to play just about all other games without breaking a sweat. Maybe even PS4 and Xbox games. See, that's very promising and exciting, and that's one of the big reasons I wanted to make this video in the first place. And it's probably one of the main reasons you're watching it too. And there's actually something very important that has to do with this, but we're going to talk about that later. We're not done talking about the hardware, because it's not just the power the iPad has that makes it so nice for gaming. Another big part of the hardware that really adds to the gaming experience on the iPad Pro is the screen. It's very good, especially when you compare it to portable console screens like the screen on the Nintendo Switch, which you shouldn't, because that wouldn't be a fair comparison at all. In fact, I'll go as far as to call it outrageous, because the Nintendo Switch can't hold a candle to the iPad when it comes to screen quality. Actually, even many laptop screens and even monitors aren't as good as the iPad screen. It has a bright, color-accurate 2K display with 120Hz variable refresh rate. That's great. Most games I tried actually don't take advantage of the 120Hz refresh rate though, but the ones that do look amazing. And some popular games like Fortnite actually lets you run the game at the full 120 frames per second, and I can't really show you how it looks on here, and Fortnite's kind of not available for the iPad right now, but take my word for it. If you haven't played 120 frames per second before, and you've mostly played on consoles or other devices where games normally cap out at 60 frames per second, then trust me, the iPad's 120Hz refresh rate will be very impressive to you. It'll literally be 2 times smoother. That's 100% more smooth. Long story short, the iPad screen is very good in general, and it's very good for gaming. What's also pretty good, and it's pretty good for gaming as well, is the speakers. The iPad Pro has very good speakers. How many speakers exactly? Well, they don't just have 1 or 2. They have 4 speakers. One here, and one here, and one here. And together, they sound really good. They have good quality, they're loud, not so much in the bass area though. I mean, it's a lot more than with phones and other tablets and portable consoles like the Nintendo Switch, and even with a lot of laptops actually. But it doesn't compare with Bluetooth speakers or anything, especially in the bass area. The 12.5-inch model comes a lot closer though. This one is 11-inch and it's not as loud. But overall, the iPad has very good speakers. It's very good for the gaming experience. Right now though, let's talk about the area where the iPad is automatically better than any console. I'm talking Xbox, PlayStation, Sega, GameCube, etc. I actually can't say the Nintendo Switch here though, because the Nintendo Switch is also better than the PlayStations and Xboxes and other consoles in this area as well. Now, what area is this exactly? Portability. Your iPad doesn't have to be stationary and be in just one spot. You can play your games basically anywhere you want. Normally with consoles and even with PCs, when you're playing, you'll have to be sitting down in a chair in a fixed position, and you can spend a whole lot of hours there. It's not a big deal or anything, and if it's comfortable, you're good, but it's kind of like you're forced to, unless you have a much more flexible setup, which you probably don't, because that doesn't really go well with consoles. If you game on the iPad Pro though, this doesn't have to be the case. With the iPad, you can take your gaming with you, basically anywhere you want to go. You're not pinned down just to a chair and a table. It's like a Nintendo Switch or other portable consoles in that way. It doesn't have to stay plugged in like an Xbox or a PS4. It's nice. Now, I didn't say it doesn't have to be plugged in though, because it can't remain portable forever. You'll have to plug it back in eventually. If not, the battery's gonna die. So how long can you game portably on the iPad? Well, I find that when playing intense type games, like the graphical ones on the iPad with 100% battery and brightness, I can game for about 3-4 hours. That's pretty decent, I guess. A portable console like the Nintendo Switch can last a good amount longer though, like about 8 hours. But the iPad isn't so bad in real life, I find. And it's like this especially because I'm not really expecting much from it while gaming anyways. You know, it's not a traditional primary gaming device. Now, if you're worried about the battery though, you can always treat it more like a console and plug it in while you play. But if you really want to treat it as a console though, and plug it into your monitor, then it won't be as nice. You can do it, yes, but first, you can't have it charging at the same time because it only has one port and you're going to need that port to connect to the monitor. So your battery could still die this way. Second, you actually can't do it outright with the iPad. You're going to need a dongle, and not just any dongle, but one like this that has an HDMI port. And third, even if your battery is full and you have the right dongle and everything's working, your game won't play full screen. The iPad won't adapt to the monitor's aspect ratio and resolution, so you're gonna have a whole lot of black, empty space, and that's not really nice, you know, it kinda sucks really. That's why I never use it like this. But that's not what sucks the most about gaming on the iPad though. You know, good graphics and portability and battery life, those are all cool and all. But you know what's more important than all those things combined? What's arguably the most important part of the gaming experience? The actual games themselves. Let's say the iPad Pro is capable of playing GTA 5, for example. Now, do you think that's possible? I'm sure some of you would say hell yeah, especially when PUBG and Fortnite play so well. You know, Fortnite is a graphically intensive game, but some of you would say hell no, it's GTA 5, and the iPad Pro is still just an iPad. Some will say it's not powerful enough. So, who's correct in this argument? The people saying the iPad is powerful enough to play GTA 5, or the people saying the iPad isn't powerful enough to play GTA 5?
Well, it doesn't matter. Both of you guys are wasting your time. It's a pointless argument, really. It doesn't matter whether the iPad can run GTA 5 or not. Why? Because GTA 5 is not available to play on the iPad. It's not on the App Store. Neither is Spider-Man,
FIFA, like real actual FIFA, real actual NBA 2K, Red Dead Redemption, Overwatch, and basically all of your favorite games that you can play on console. They just aren't available for the iPad. What is available though? Well, if you want access to the most amount of games you can have access to on the iPad, you're going to need to get an Apple Arcade subscription. It's $5 a month and it gives you access to the entire library of games they have to offer. I got a subscription so I could really see what the iPad is capable of when it comes to gaming, and that's when I properly saw the biggest problem with gaming on the iPad. Now, I like the idea of Apple Arcade, I like the name, I like the concept, you know, having access to the whole library, that's pretty cool. It even shows you the games that support a controller, and a lot of them do. But at the end of the day, the iPad kind of drops the ball in the most important aspect of being a gaming device. It has no games. Like, what am I supposed to play? Angry Birds?
Angry Birds? Actually, never not hitting Angry Birds too much. You know, the augmented reality version is pretty cool.
And works real well on the iPad. But my point is, there's no game that really grabs my attention on the iPad. Well, not really. Like, you know, you get an Xbox for the fun Forza racing games, for the exclusives, for Halo, well, maybe not anymore, but you can still play all the great cross-platform games on it. You get PlayStation, and you can play Spider-Man, God of War, The Last of Us, you know, all the exclusive games, as well as the great cross-platform games too, that you can play on the Xbox or on PC. Now you get the iPad Pro, and you want to game on it,
and you get to play, well, you do have its big cross-platform-ish games like Call of Duty.
Well, mobile though, Call of Duty Mobile. And you have PUBG, well, that's mobile as well. But that one honestly plays very well. And I'll compare it to the console versions actually. It's seriously that good. And it also plays Fortnite very well. Well, when Fortnite's on the App Store. You see, that's just the problem with the iPad. You can play games on Apple Arcade, and I won't even lie, I've had a lot of fun playing some of them, and some have really impressed me graphically, and there are some pretty good games out there. But even if I've enjoyed these games, because of the games I know I can play on PS4, Xbox, PC, the Nintendo Switch, the PS Vita, the PSP, not the PSP Go, and even the Sega consoles, it just becomes clear that the games on the iPad just don't compare, regardless of how powerful the iPad is. Now, an upside to this is that you do get to play all the mobile games that consoles and PCs don't have access to though. And we know how good some of these phone games can actually be. And the iPad Pro runs all these types of games exceptionally well, of course. They also handle AR gaming impressively well too. That's augmented reality, and I know many people don't know about this, and maybe that's because there's still not that many great AR games to play yet. But even if you just try AR Angry Birds, you'll be impressed, trust me. But still, I won't say these mobile games can compete with the plenty console and PC games out there. Not at all.
You throw in stuff like partying up to play games, and the fact that you have to play most multiplayer games with people on mobile, like on iPhones, and you see that the iPad is a pretty flawed device for gaming. But that's only if you wanted to handle all your gaming needs though. Like I mean all of them, like a console. That's kind of how I treated it in this video. Now you might have thought that was unfair and I was treating the iPad harshly, or I was just setting like unrealistic expectations for the iPad. And I mean, I kind of did, but I just like being optimistic with technology in general and testing the limits of some devices. Now, if you lower your expectations though for the iPad and just treat it like a tablet that just games on the side, then you'll be very, very, very happy with gaming on the iPad. And the fact that it can go toe to toe with consoles actually in some areas will be very, very impressive. But anyways, now you know what gaming on the iPad is like. What do you think about it? Do you think the iPad and Apple Arcade actually have a good gaming selection? Do you think the iPad is powerful enough to play most console games? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time you watch another video of mine. Well, technically, you see me. Anyways, thanks for watching. What should I play? What should I play? What should I play? The iPad? Nah. PS4? No, not again.